Hi there, this is Architect David. Welcome to Arkida, where you can learn anything and everything about construction. For this video, we will be talking about structural steel roof framing. Before we proceed, let me tell you about the different types of structural steel framing systems. They are the skeleton steel framing, wall bearing steel framing, and long span steel framing. Now for the skeleton steel framing system, the skeleton steel frame is composed of steel beams and columns which are connected using the proper connections. Steel beams around the perimeter of the structure is termed as spandrel beams on which masonry walls are placed. It should be known that all gravity loads in skeleton frame structures are supported by beams and columns. The distance between columns can be established according to the functions and requirements of the structure. Now for a wall-bearing steel framing system, in the wall-bearing steel framing structure, building walls, whether it is interior or exterior, is used to carry the end of structural members that support floor or roof loads. Wall bearing should be adequately strong to not only be able to carry vertical reactions but also to resist any imposed horizontal loads. Wall bearing framing is suitable for the construction of low-rise structure. This is because the size of the bearing wall must be increased significantly to withstand considerably loads exerted in the case of multi-story buildings. This problem might be solved to a certain extent if the reinforced concrete walls are applied. There are several cases in which wall-bearing frame system is suitable to be used. For example, a single-story house in which steel beams are used to carry wall and floor loads at the end of the steel beams are placed on foundation walls. A further application of wall-bearing system applications is the utilization of steel beams known as lintels over wall openings like doors and windows. Long span steel framing. Long span steel framing is considered when large clearances is required and such long spanning cannot be realized using steel beams and columns. Long span steel framing options can be categorized into different types. For instance, girders, trusses, rigid frames, arches, and cantilever suspensions spans. Now for girders, a girder is a support beam used in construction. It is the main horizontal support of a structure which supports smaller beams. It is selected for the case where depth of the member is restricted over a large unobstructed area in lower stories. The girder should support loads from above stories across cleared area. Various types of configuration are roller beams, riveted girder, welded girder, heavy girder, hybrid girder, and a girder consists of two girders fastened. Now about trusses. It can be used for the case where the restriction on the element depth is not imposed. It is an economical way of spanning long distances provided that depth limitation is not existed. Trusses are better compared with other options in controlling deflections due to better stiffness. Various types or configurations are the Pratt, Warren, Fink, Scissor, Bowstring, and Vierendel. Now this picture shows the different elements of a roof truss. You have the principal rafter, you have the cleats, you have the purlins wherein you place your actual finish on top of it. Then you have a ridge. Down below you could see gusset plates which connects all the diagonal members. Then you have an angle cleat, the base plate, foundation block, and the concrete block. The gusset plate is a plate for connecting beams and girders to columns. A gusset plate can be fastened to a permanent member either by bolts, rivets, or welding, or a combination of these three. Arches. It is used to carry walls and roofs with open or solid web arches. Various types or configurations are hingeless arches, two hinged arches, and three hinged arches. And the last is rigid frame. It is used to span long distances. It is aesthetically pleasing, that is why applied in the construction of churches, gymnasiums, auditoriums, bowling alleys, and shopping centers. Various types or configurations are single span rigid frame, a single slope rigid frame, a gable modular rigid frame, and a lean-to, which is usually joined to and supported by a main building frame. I hope you've learned something new today. Watch out for my next video. To discover all the other videos in this site, click the notification bell to be notified about new videos that we post. Press the like button to share this video to your friends. If you have additional comments, please post them down below or at our Arkida Facebook page, and I will answer all your queries. Thank you.